Yeah.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Going for Two. I am Kejuannh Humphreys. College football week 1 is officially over. It ended last night with TCU's bludgeoning of UNC. And today, they just released a new AP poll, and we're going to talk about that, talk about them top 10 teams, and give my thoughts on the rankings as a whole. Before I do that, make sure I hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share, subscribe. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's keep grinding. College football starting up. We got NFL starting next week. NBA coming right around the corner. Let's get right to it. So, we're gonna go down the line. We're gonna go through the top 10 of the college football AP polls, and I'm gonna give my thoughts on each team and how they played this weekend and why I believe they may be ranked right there. Number 1, we have Ohio State. Very obvious election. Ohio State defeated Texas at home. Texas number 1 ranked. Ohio State was number 3 ranked last week. They defeated them at home in a rematch of the college football playoff semifinals. I personally loved what I saw from Ohio State. I was a guy that I thought Texas was gonna win the game. I saw that the guys Texas brought back. I thought all that, plus I thought Arch Manning would be a lot better. And I saw the youth in Julian Sand. They lost Emeka Jigba, both their running backs, guys on the defensive end. But ultimately, that team is still going to get the job done. Offensively, they may not have the same firepower, or they may not be clicking as they were last season. But the defensive end, this is one of the best defenses in the nation, and we saw that the way they ultimately took Arch Manning out of the game and just suffocated that Texas offense, winning the game 17-10. I love what I saw from Julian Sand. He played really well for it to be his first start. Didn't make too many mistakes and just did what he had to do to win the game. You know, Jeremiah Smith started out the game real slow, but he picked it up. I expect that connection to just grow and blossom as the year goes on. Ohio State being number 1 makes the most sense and is the obvious choice. Number 2, we got Penn State. Penn State started the year at number 2. They're going to stay there after defeating Nevada 46-11. Now, I do think the polls want Penn State to be number 1. On paper, they look like the best team on paper. They brought everyone back from their semifinal run last season, except for one starter, except for Carter, that's currently on the Giants. So they brought the whole team back except for him. So on paper, they should be primed for a national championship run, and I think the polls really wanted to be number 1. But with Ohio State beating Texas, it made no sense for them to jump up and move to number 1. But a good win. This is what you want when you play against a team you're supposed to beat. Win by a lot. Nicholas Singleton had a great game. Penn State at 2 makes sense to me. I think they're going to run through majority of their schedule. They're not going to get tested really until later on in the season. So they may be in this top 2, top 1, top 3 area for a majority, if not all of this season. Number 3, we got the LSU Tigers. Now, LSU was a team that people had on their radar coming into the season. You got Nussmeier. You got all the guys over there. We saw how good they were last season. We felt like they lost some games here that they should not have lost. But coming into this year, they are ranked in the top 10. You said, okay, let's see who they are. And they do it by going on the road against Clemson on Saturday night and just winning the game. Went out, won the game 17-10. LSU defense looks great. Nussmeier, he didn't have the craziest game in the world, but we know his talent. That was a big win. The thing about coming into the season with high expectations, it's better to just see if you're really that good early on rather than wait until later in the season. And to get a Clemson team that we thought was going to be really good, or I think is going to be really good this season, even despite this loss, and to beat them at their home field Saturday night in prime time, that's a very good win for them. Very good win for them. I'm looking forward to seeing what else they have to do the rest of this season. Number 4, we got them dogs. Georgia came out and won 45-7 against Marshall. Biggest takeaway is Gunnar Stockton in the offense looks good. That was a big thing that I wanted to see from Georgia. I wanted to see how the offense is going to look with a basically completely different quarterback from Carson Beck to Gunnar Stockton. Gunnar Stockton had 2 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns. I think it's the first time that somebody has done that in over 3 decades or so. So for him to do that, and I love the way the offense looks, a bunch of options, a bunch of design quarterback runs, just different ways to get the guys in space and just find a way to make the play. But the thing about beating Marshall, Georgia beating Marshall, still at Penn State, they're not going to get tested until later on in the year. They got Austin Peay next week, and then they have Tennessee on the road in week 3. So we will see what the Dogs do over the next couple of weeks, maybe even the next month. Number 5, we got Miami. The Miami Hurricanes. It's crazy how I just talked about Georgia and Gunnar Stockton, number 4. And number 5, we got Carson Beck and the Miami Hurricanes. They look really good to me. They go and take on Notre Dame, and they took care of business. Defense looks really, really good. I don't know if I want to credit that just also to defense or also to the play calling for Notre Dame. They didn't have the most faith in CJ Carr, but the defense looked good. It really, I would say the defense won the game. Offense looks good as well. Carson Beck looked really, really good. He was very, very efficient. It got to a point where he completed 12 straight passes. The receivers they have up there, CJ Daniels. Everybody saw the CJ Daniels catch right before halftime. But the connection with Beck and Tony is going to be one to watch for the majority of the season when it comes to the passing game. I think Miami is going to be a true contender to win the ACC. They have never won the ACC. That's not true. But they haven't won the ACC in a very long time. But I think this is the year where they could definitely get back into contention. Number 6, we have the Oregon Ducks. Similar to Georgia and to Penn State, Oregon did not have a good quality opponent, and they stomped them. 59-13 win over Montana State. They also, just like Georgia, have a quarterback that's going to be starting for the first time for the entirety of the season in Dante Moore. Dante Moore looked good. Oregon's going to be Oregon. For as long as I remember, Oregon has been a team that's going to fling the ball or run the ball over the field, and that's exactly what they did against Montana State en route to the 59-13 win. We'll see what they do. Their schedule is, I would say their schedule is decent, so we'll see what they do moving forward. Number 7, we got the Texas Longhorns. Now, Texas is a team that, I had high hopes on. I said I had them beating Ohio State week 1. And they lost that game, yes, but it was a very winnable game. Very winnable game. Why was it very winnable? Because there were a lot of passes in the fourth quarter that Arch Manning did not make. I remember specifically it was a pass 3rd and 3 inside the 10, I want to say. A drag route. He just, instead of throwing the ball in front of his receiver, letting him run into it, he threw the ball behind him, turns to an incomplete pass, and they do not pick it up on 4th down. They got stuffed at the 1 on a QB sneak. Arch Manning had a horrible first half. But through it all, I do think Arch is going to be fine. I think he's going to be fine. He's missing a lot of those layups, I think when I think about a quarterback that misses a bunch of those easy passes, I think about a guy that misses a bunch of layups. And yes, it could be the nerves. It could be a bunch of other things. But layups are the easiest shots in basketball. Similar to them little dump-offs being the easiest throws in football. And a quality quarterback that I believe Arch Manning to be is going to start make those throws. And if he made those throws in Saturday's game, they may still be number 1. We do not know. They lost by 7 points. They got the ball into the game. Did not pick up the first down on 4th down, ended up losing. Dropping down to 7 makes sense. Everybody else above them 1. Having them to be the first team with 1 loss makes the most sense to me because it's a quality loss. It's a quality loss. A road game against Ohio State, that's not going to keep you out of the college football playoff. Number 8. Number 8 is Clemson. Clemson being number 8, another, they also had a top 10 matchup with LSU at home. Lost that game by 1 score. Can't get too mad at that. I think the offense for Clemson was not the way they wanted it to be. Cade Klubnik, Heisman hopeful, did not have the craziest game in the world, and it was just a fight, a bar fight all the way to the end. And they just came up on the wrong side of it. I think Clemson's going to be fine. They're going to definitely be a contender for the ACC championship as well, right up there with Miami. So them being 8 makes the most sense to me. Number 9, we got Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Another team that lost by, 3 points, 27-24. They lost by 3 points. The biggest thing that I wanted to see from them was CJ Carr. And for majority of the game, they did not allow CJ Carr to throw the ball down the field. And, I guess Miami kind of let them back in the game too, playing conservative. But not a bad loss. On the road against a Miami team that's, number 5 ranked right now. Not a bad loss again with a freshman quarterback. The Notre Dame defense still looks really, really good as well. I wanted to see more Jeremiah Love, more Jadarian Price. I know Jeremiah Love's supposed to get majority of the carries this year, but Jadarian Price had it going in the first half. I don't understand why they went away from him completely. So we'll see what happens with that. Number 10, we have South Carolina. South Carolina along with LSU. One of those SEC teams that You saw they finished last season. You saw they finished last season, and you said, okay, this year they may be on to something. A big time win, 24-11 win against Virginia Tech on Sunday afternoon. Lenore Sellers looks spectacular. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, and he showed it with a spectacular performance. Made a couple of spectacular plays in the game in the Week 1 win against Virginia Tech. I think they're definitely a sleeper. Definitely a dark horse for the SEC. We saw them last season. They almost stole a game on Alabama, and they ended up winning the last game of the year against Clemson. You know, so very tough, very, very tough. I think they're going to be really good this season. I think they're going to be really tough this season as well. So after going through the top 10, there are a couple more teams that I want to talk about. It's funny, they were opponents. The biggest risers in the poll and the biggest faller in the poll. Starting with number 14, Florida State. Now, Florida State, coming off a 2-10 season last year, played Alabama Week 1. And me, maybe with a lot of y'all, felt like Alabama, okay, this is a good tune-up game. This is a good game between two of the biggest names in college football with Alabama and Florida State. And Florida State just came out there and won the game. They came out there and just bullied them. They punched them in the mouth early and just kept hitting them and hitting them. The run game, the trenches. Florida State dominated the trenches on both ends. They ran the ball efficiently. I know the weather was bad, but they ran the ball really, really efficiently. They stopped the run really, really efficiently. They got after Ty Simpson, made him throw some errant passes, and it looked really good. You know, I said on my TikTok, follow me on TikTok at Going42Kweezy. The link, the name and stuff is in the description of this video and in the bio of the channel. But I felt like them being unranked was just because they were 2-10 last season. But you could feel this was not going to be a 2-10 team this year. You know what I'm saying? And Mike Norvell, props to him. You know, he went from a 13-0 season where they got snubbed from the playoffs to 2-10 to now, okay, how do we bounce back from those past two seasons? And what better way to get it going than by beating Alabama in a pretty decisive manner. Now, speaking of Alabama drops from number 8 to number 21 after their loss to Florida State. With them, they just got bullied. You know, they got bullied. There was nothing they could do to stop the run game. It got to a point where Florida State was out rushing them 200 to like 60 something, and that can't happen in a football game if you want to be successful. I think Alabama has some stuff to do. I'm not going to sit here and say that the season's over, all that, yada, yada, yada. But I will say that this is a red flag game. And when I say red flag game, I mean, you look at this game and remember it at the end of the year, no matter how it ends. If they win national championship, you're going to say, dang, we're a lot better team than we were in Week 1. If they end up losing in the playoff or wherever, you're going to look at this game and say, okay, this is where we saw the cracks in the shield. This is where we saw the red flags for this team. Kalen DeBoer, man, I think this is a big year for him. Last year, he gets a signature win against Georgia, and they end up losing games that they should not have lost. They lost to Vandy, lost to Oklahoma at the end of the year, and then lost to Michigan in the bowl game. And then this game as well, losing in the season opener against an opponent that you were a heavy favorite against is not a good look. So he has to find some adjustments. Ty Simpson as well struggled in that game, but I think he's going to be fine. You know, I think they just got to find what works for him. You know, I think Kalen DeBoer is one of the best offensive minds in college football. Look at what he did with Michael Penix in Washington. Look how he had Jalen Milroe looking last year's first year Alabama. It's going to take some time for him to figure some things out with Ty Simpson. I think it's very much possible. Now, I would love to sit on here and talk about every single team in the top 25, but I do not have the time to do that, and y'all don't want to see me watch. Y'all don't want to sit here and watch me do that as well. But that's all I got. So that's all I got for y'all, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share with y'all folks. Put in the comment section anybody I missed. Put in the comment section y'all thoughts on the top 10 or the top 25 or whatever. How did your team do this week? My team did great. I'm a Georgia fan. My team did great. Week 1 win. So put in the comment section your team. Put in the comment section your team. Just whatever you guys say, put in the comment section. I'm going to keep saying put in the comment section because I want y'all to interact with me. Talk to me. You know what I'm saying? But until next time, Going for 2, we out of here. Yeah.